All right, let's talk Boston's offense. Fair warning, Celtics fans, this is going to be a tough watch for you. The Celtics, on 4 consecutive possessions to start the third quarter, took off the dribble threes or ISO threes. Up the floor, Jaylen Brown has a mismatch against Jalen Brunson, just takes a bad pull-up three to start the half. Next possession, same thing. Jaylen Brown, no attempt to get the ball in the paint, has a mismatch. You got one of their weaker defenders. What are you going to do? How about another ISO jab step three off? How about your third shot of the third quarter? Okay, guys, we're running some bad offense. We need to get something going. Let's see what we got. How about a Jrue Holiday step back three without any other movement on the possession? He makes it, but it's like, this is not good. That's not good process. Fourth shot of the third quarter. Again, no attempt to get the ball in the paint. Another off the dribble three. At least this one, there's a decent amount of separation, but still, like, these are just, every time down the floor, they're just dribbling up the floor and taking the first three that they get any attempt to get some separation on. Something to keep an eye on, too. Look at how bad this miss was from Tatum. And I'm going to be calling this out throughout the film session. As a star, he needs to read that he doesn't have it going. Look at the miss. Hits the backboard first. That's a brick. And there's like a bunch of those to show that example. But here we go, off the offensive rebound. So offensive rebound, Tatum pressures the rim on the offensive rebound, draws a second defender, makes a kick. Derek White, clean catch and shoot look, goes in. Boston took 15 unguarded catch and shoot jump shots in the second half of this game, including overtime. They got 18 points on them, 1.2 points per shot. They shot poorly on unguarded catch and shoots in the first half, but they actually made their unguarded catch and shoots in the second half. The problem is on the other 26 contested or off the dribble jump shots they took, they got just 12 points on those shots. There was a clear line between their process and their success in the second half. Here's another off the dribble three with lots of clock left, no attempt to get the ball in the paint. Again, it's not a bad look for Derek White. We know they can win playing that way. My thing is, you've got to be able to make the read and change your play style if it's obvious that something's not working. Here's another classic example of that ideology. Watch Jaylen Brown. Okay, so he smokes this, has to pass it out. Sure, whatever. Okay. Jaylen Brown's man runs out. He throws the pass out to Jrue Holiday. Just stay right there. Just stay right there and call for the ball. And you're going to get a layup or a dunk. Instead, he runs out to the corner to take a three. Look at all this space. He could have driven that. And like, they're not making threes. It just doesn't make any sense. C's get a couple mismatches here through a screen. You get Brunson on Horford. And you get Cat on White, okay? So theoretically, you should be looking to attack there or there. Instead, they run a ball screen with Tatum, which brings OG Anunoby into the action, and Tatum ends up having OG Anunoby on him and swinging it back to Derek White. This goes in. But that's stupid offense. You just took your mismatch and brought the other team's best defender into the action and ended up having to take a contested catch and shoot like 28-footer at the end of the clock. Also, I wanted to come back. Shout out to Jalen Brunson and the way he battled Horford here. There were a couple examples of this down the stretch. Let me show you guys. Watch him battling and fronting the post, trying to deny those post-entry opportunities. Great work from Brunson. I don't know what the hell they're doing on offense on this possession. Derek White hits the three, but like, once again, like no attempt to get the ball inside in any way, shape, or form. Just a swing pass and a contested 27-footer off of the left wing. Again, Jaylen Brown has missed every three that he's taken in the second half, and they've all been pretty bad shots. Let's see what he looks to do here on the skip. 11 seconds on the shot clock. You can't shoot right now. Drive the closeout. Drive the closeout. You will generate a better shot for a better shooter. Instead, he takes another three and misses it. I don't know what the hell this possession was. Derek White literally just dribbles the clock out and takes a three. Got Brunson off the dribble 27-footer. Like that, I just don't understand it. Here we go again. Another zero penetration move. Just a swing pass to Horford for an early clock transition three. Tatum, after the Knicks make this little run here to cut it to 11, hits a couple of threes, but these are, once again, you guys have seen, this is in the context of the previous possessions. The offense is sluggish. They're on a run. This is fool's gold. Tatum hits a couple of threes here. Boom, one. And then look at this one. This is basically over a double team at the top of the key. Screen with Brunson. Contested 30-footer. Goes in. That's great. This is bad process. The offense in general is still sluggish. They went right back to being cold right after those two shots. At the very least, though, this was one of the few possessions in the second half where Tatum looked to attack downhill. Watch when he brings force to Brunson, the quality of shot they generate. Attacks, dislodges, draws help, clean catch and shoot look for a great shooter in Sam Hauser in the corner. He smokes it, but you get the point. Another example of me not knowing what the hell Tatum's doing. Ball screen. Just another early clock contested pull-up three that he misses. I don't know what the hell this possession is. Just swing and shoot. Like they're just taking the first available three without making any attempt to try to get the ball inside. There's another zero drive possession. Like Horford hits this shot, but there's just no attempt to get the ball inside. All right, early fourth quarter, Jaylen Brown's turn to try to assert control over the situation. Let's see what he does. ISO against Cat. Let's see what you got. And you know what's crazy? Look at this. Look at the spacing. If Jaylen just goes to the basket, if he just rips right and goes, he will draw Mikal Bridges and help, and he will generate a wide open catch and shoot three for Derek White. Like, guaranteed that will happen if he just rips right. Look at how open Cat's stance is. Cat is incapable of containing Jaylen Brown in this stance, driving to the right. Instead, Jaylen waits for Mikal to get into the driving lane and for that space to go away. And then he settles for this tough step back mid-range jump shot and airballs it. It's like baffling to me. Peyton Pritchard's turn to get in on the action and just take a step back three. Some quality switching from New York there. Jayson Tatum against Josh Hart. This is actually a nice little snatchback dribble. But again, look at the clock, 84-80. Tatum comes off of this action, snatchback dribble, breaks Josh off. In theory, you don't hate this shot, but I'm more concerned about what happens after this point. Brick, okay? Look at the miss. The miss is off to the left of the rim. This is a miss by feet. It barely grazed the bottom of the backboard outside of the rim, and he got clean separation and a great look. So, like, it's clear that his jump shot is off. Read that. Make the adjustment. A rushed contested corner three from Derek White here. Swing, swing. Contested three, 19 on the shot clock. Miss. Here is a clean, wide open catch and shoot three that goes in. There's a man down situation. It's a 5-on-4 in transition. Boom. Nobody within the area code, wide open, goes in. Very next possession. How about a movement three versus a contest coming off of a flare screen? This is a much, much tougher shot. Miss. Here's where I start to get really annoyed with Tatum. Okay, so you just had a bad miss. You get Cat again on a switch here. 8 seconds on the shot clock. No attempt to try to drive on Cat and generate the rim pressure to get a quality shot. Just go right to the step back. Brick. Look at where it hits the backboard first. Backboard, then rim. So his jump shot is off by feet, plural. And he needs to make an adjustment at this point. The jumper's off by feet. The game is tied. I need to look to be more aggressive. Let's see if we see any change in approach from Tatum. Here we go. Jaylen Brown off of an offensive rebound. Drives a closeout. Gets to the rim and lays the ball up. But right on the next possession, back to settling for Jaylen Brown. Just got to the rim, just got a layup. How about a catch and shoot three, a mildly contested catch and shoot three with 12 seconds on the shot clock, even though he can't shoot in this half. All right. Knicks have the lead now off of a Jalen Brunson three against Al Horford. Now things are getting into serious crisis mode. Let's see how Boston looks to attack on offense. Starts with this kind of iffy catch and shoot three. It's a decent look for Derek White. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Don't hate it. And at least they got the ball inside to Brunson. Don't hate it. But what the hell is Jrue Holiday doing here? A spinning out of rhythm offensive rebound kick out three with 13 on the shot clock out of the corner while he's leaning. One of the worst shots I've seen Jrue take in his career. Okay, 97-95. Tatum on Cat. Oh, we're driving to the basket now, guys. Driving to the basket, drawing multiple defenders, drop off to Jrue Holiday. Beautiful extra pass, clean catch and shoot look. It goes in. Okay, so we know that Tatum driving to the basket is working. He just drove to the basket successfully on Cat. You don't need to run this screening action again. But Tatum instead is going to take another off the dribble three, 11 on the shot clock, another off the dribble three, even though he knows his shot is off. He literally knows his shot is off. He bricked the shit out of like 3 or 4 of his jump shots in this half. And what do we get? Another outside the rim miss. Look, barely grazes the left side of the rim and goes down. Doesn't even go up off the rim, which means he barely grazed the left side of the rim. And then we get a couple moves on Jalen Brunson here that are both geared towards the pullback. Again, no attempt to actually drive. It's like pullback. Everything's geared towards the pullback. I'm trying to get a three. He's driving to get jump shots. He's not driving to get to the basket. On this play right here, he's very capable of right here, spinning, pound the dribble, spin, and you're in this part of the lane, drawing multiple defenders and making something good happen. No, but it's geared towards the pullback. Everything mentality-wise is geared towards the pull-up jump shot. I do want to give Brunson some credit for his defense here. Again, Tatum's letting him off the hook, but these are some nice off-the-dribble cutoffs from Brunson sliding his feet. He was great on defense down the stretch of this game. This is why I was so annoyed at this play. As you guys saw, they were mixing in hedges and recovers with Brunson, especially on some of those Tatum cat actions. But when Brunson was switched on Tatum, he was able to actually bait Tatum taking bad shots. You guys will see another example of it in overtime. Here's a random possession where they threw the hedge and recover and gave up a layup. Hedge, slip, wide open layup. That was what tied the game and sent it to overtime. So, like, for the Knicks, just trust Brunson's ability to defend on an island, and you'll bait Boston into doing stupid shit. If you do this, you can give them these easy reads that they're going to take layups. Tatum, big possession of the game, gets a switch on to Mitchell Robinson. Settles for the step back three again. Again, like it's so clear. At least he's inside the rim on that one. But it was so clear that the jumper wasn't there for him, and he just made no attempt to change his approach. Another just unbelievably stupid shot from Jrue Holiday. No passes, step back three literally against the Knicks' best defender. A 0-pass step back three for Jrue Holiday, down 3 in overtime. Here's the other Tatum ISO against Brunson. Fast forward. Again, if you don't hedge, that's the same action they just hedged and recovered and gave a layup on at the end of regulation. Brunson beats him to the spot a couple times and forces him into a mid-range fall away that he misses. Air balls. 2 minutes left in overtime. We get a Jayson Tatum post-up off of a switch with Mikal Bridges, and we get a layup. There is a clear indicator that every single time Boston applied rim pressure and trusted their process, they got either good stuff at the rim or good catch and shoot stuff that went in. And every time they did something stupid, they played into variance. And that's the thing. It's not about Boston being able to play like this. I expect them to win a game in this series where they take, 50, 55, a lot of those kinds of shots. Because when they're all in rhythm, that's part of what makes them so scary. But you have to be able to read the room, read the shot result, read the flow of the game, and change your approach when the situation calls for it. And Boston just let New York off the hook tonight. And you guys, I think the tape speaks for itself. That's one of the dumbest halves of basketball that I've seen Boston play in the Jayson Tatum era. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys for supporting me and supporting the show. We will be live on YouTube tonight after the final buzzer of Warriors Timberwolves, and then we'll be live on playback after that. I will see you guys then.